Welcome, my dear student, to this topic that is the synapse. What is the synapse? Close association of neurons with maintenance of a gap is called synapse. Close association of neurons with maintenance of a gap is known as synapse. Okay, synapse is of two types: electrical synapse and chemical synapse. First, that is about the electrical synapse. That is, what is the electrical synapse? Okay, you know what is the synapse. Okay, what is synapse? You know good way. That is close association of neurons with maintenance of a little gap is known as synapse. And first, that is the electrical synapse. I want to tell you that this is the two neurons. Of one neuron's terminal part and of other neurons head part is attached with each other with maintenance of a little gap. That gap is called synaptic gap, synaptic cleft, synaptic space, and that space is very small space, that is 0.2 to 10 nanometer. This means size of the synaptic cleft is becomes small, 0.2 to 10 nanometer. So this is the first neuron and this is the second neuron. First neuron's terminal part of the synaptic knob, neuron's terminal part, last part, synaptic knob is present, and head part, other neuron, that's head part, that is on the cyton, surface of cyton, dendrites is present. So this is the dendrite of the other neuron and this is the synaptic knob of other neuron. Okay, and both neuron is attached with each other with maintenance of a small gap. That gap is called synaptic gap, and this is a very small gap, 0.2 to 10 nanometer. But and in the between both neuron is attached with a bridge formation. This is called the cytoplasmic bridge junction and cytoplasmic gap junction. Okay, so why this bridge formation happen? So this bridge formation is happen. This means this bridge formation, cytoplasmic bridge, is formed by connexin protein. Cytoplasmic bridge formed between both neuron by connexin protein. By connexin protein. Okay, by connexin protein. And this bridge formation is happen. Why this bridge formation happen? So this bridge formation, the role of this bridge is flow of impulse. Flow of impulse. This is the electrical synapse. So flow of impulse in electrical synapse is bidirectional. This means from presynaptic membrane to postsynaptic membrane and postsynaptic membrane to presynaptic membrane. This means vice versa. Okay, vice versa. Presynaptic membrane to postsynaptic membrane and postsynaptic membrane to presynaptic membrane. Okay, and it is also necessary to understand that this is the flow of impulses bidirectional in in electrical synapse. But in chemical synapse, flow of impulse is unidirectional. But now we are studying about the electrical synapse. So I want to tell you that flow of impulse is bidirectional in electrical synapse, presynaptic membrane to postsynaptic membrane, and postsynaptic membrane to presynaptic membrane. And next point that is also important, that electrical stimulus or impulse that is depolarized on postsynaptic membrane. Electrical synapse or impulse depolarized on postsynaptic membrane, not on presynaptic membrane. Three point is very important in this electrical synapse. First, that is the both membrane, presynaptic membrane and postsynaptic membrane. Between the both membrane, a bridge formation happened by the connexin protein. Why this bridge formation happened? For the flow of impulse. Flow of impulse is bidirectional from presynaptic membrane to postsynaptic membrane and postsynaptic membrane to presynaptic membrane. This means vice versa, bidirectional. Okay, and next that is also important, that is the electrical stimulus or impulse depolarized on postsynaptic membrane. Okay, so called electrical synapse. Okay, next that is about the chemical synapse. Next that is the chemical synapse, and how will chemical synapse impulse produces? You can see here that this is the synapse, and between the synapse and also in the electrical synapse, synaptic cleft is 0.2 to 10 nanometer. But in chemical synapse, that space is present between the two neurons, that is called synaptic cleft, that is 10 to 20 nanometer. This means size of gap between two neurons is becomes large, 10 to 20 nanometer. This gap is present physically and functionally. Okay, this gap is present physically and functionally. Okay, but in electrical synapse, gap present only physically, not functionally. Okay, in electrical synapse, synaptic cleft gap is present only physically, not functionally. But in chemical synapse, now which we are studying, in that gap, synaptic gap is present functionally and functionally both. Physically and functionally both. Okay. In this, such as studied in electrical synapse, that is the flow of impulses unidirectional, flow of impulse is bidirectional in electrical synapse. But in this means in chemical synapse, flow of impulse is always unidirectional from pre-synaptic membrane to postsynaptic membrane. But why? Why only presynaptic membrane to postsynaptic membrane? Why not post to presynaptic membrane? Because dendrite that not synthesized sufficient neurotransmitter and synaptic lobe have not sufficient receptor. Okay, because flow of impulse is unidirectional in chemical synapse from presynaptic membrane to postsynaptic membrane, because dent because dendrite have not synthesized sufficient neurotransmitter and synaptic nerve have not sufficient receptor. Due to this, flow of impulse is not from post to pre, only pre to post, because sufficient receptor is present on dendrite and sufficient synthesized neurotransmitter, synthesized sufficient neurotransmitter is present in presynaptic membrane and sufficient receptor is present on dendrite. Due to this, flow of impulse is presynaptic membrane to postsynaptic membrane, only unidirectional. Okay, and then that is most accurate type of synapse, because a postsynaptic neuron may be depolarized. Postsynaptic neuron may be depolarized or hyperpolarized. But in electrical synapse, only depolarization possible. In electrical synapse, only depolarization possible. But in chemical synapse, postsynaptic neuron may be depolarized or hyperpolarized, because this is the most accurate type of synapse. This means chemical synapse is most accurate type of synapse. Due to this, because why this is a most accurate type of synapse? Because postsynaptic neuron may be depolarized or hyperpolarized, but in electrical synapse only depolarization possible of postsynaptic membrane. Okay, you are seeing here that this is the axonal terminal, and on the terminal synaptic knob is present, and inside the synaptic knob synaptic vesicles is present, and synaptic vesicles, in which vesicles of Golgi body is packed with neurotransmitter. In the synaptic vesicles, neurotransmitter is present. Okay, in the synaptic, this means in the synaptic knob, synaptic vesicles present, and in the synaptic vesicles neurotransmitter and present, and in the also in synaptic knob high concentration of calcium ion is present. So what is the step? How will impulse production happen? Now understand by step. Okay, now that is the step. Okay, that what is the step of impulse generate, that how will the impulse generate? Okay, so first I want to tell you that this is the presynaptic membrane and this is the postsynaptic membrane. Okay, and postsynaptic membrane, this means on the dendrites have a receptor present for the neurotransmitter. This is the receptor for the neurotransmitter. Okay, and calcium ion is present in the synaptic knob, and also in the synaptic knob synaptic vesicle is present, and in the synaptic vesicles neurotransmitter is present. Okay, and high concentration of calcium ion is present in the synaptic knob. First, that is how will the impulse generate comes, and no understand, try to understand good way. First, that is the depolarization of presynaptic membrane. Okay, presynaptic membrane depolarized. Presynaptic membrane depolarized. This means depolarization of presynaptic membrane. Then what happened? Calcium ion channel protein of this membrane open. Depolarization of presynaptic membrane, then calcium ion channel protein of this membrane open. After that, influx of calcium ion. After that, what happened? The synaptic vesicles, this is the synaptic vesicles, release neurotransmitter by exocytosis. This synaptic vesicles release neurotransmitter by exocytosis because neurotransmitter is present in synaptic vesicle. So this synaptic vesicles release neurotransmitter by exocytosis. Okay. After that, neurotransmitter is synthesized from the presynaptic membrane. Then for the neurotransmitter, receptor is present on the postsynaptic membrane. This means on the dendrite. So here from the synaptic vesicles, neurotransmitter is synthesized, secret. After that, what happened? Neurotransmitter that secreted from the synaptic vesicles or presynaptic membrane that comes and attached, binds with postsynaptic membrane. Neurotransmitter bind with postsynaptic membrane, open its sodium ions channel protein. After that, of the postsynaptic membrane, sodium ion channel protein open. Okay. From the postsynaptic membrane, from the presynaptic membrane, in the presynaptic membrane, inside the synaptic node, vesicles is present, synaptic vesicles. Inside the synaptic vesicles, neurotransmitter is present, and neurotransmitter is synthesized from the presynaptic membrane and comes and attached to receptor which is present on postsynaptic membrane on the dendrite. This means neurotransmitter is comes from the presynaptic membrane attached on the postsynaptic membrane on the from the neurotransmitter from the receptor which is present on postsynaptic membrane. Okay. After that, depolarization of postsynaptic membrane. Why? Because when neurotransmitter is attached from the this receptor which is present on dendrite, after that the receptors, when neurotransmitter attached with receptor, sodium ion channel protein opens. Then depolarization of postsynaptic membrane. Depolarization of postsynaptic membrane. After that, results in development of a fresh impulse or postsynaptic membrane. Okay. When neurotransmitter bind with receptor, then sodium ion channel protein of postsynaptic membrane open. Then depolarization of postsynaptic membrane. Then results in development of fresh impulse. Okay, development of fresh impulse. This is the process to generation of production of impulse. After that, destruction of neurotransmitter by enzyme of postsynaptic membrane. Destruction of neurotransmitter by enzymes of postsynaptic membrane. This is the process to generation of impulse. This is the complete knowledge about the synapse, electrical synapse and chemical synapse. How will in the chemical synapse impulse generated? You have known already. You have studied now. Okay, this is the complete knowledge. You solve all questions of the synapse. After that, if any questions you are not unable to solve that question, then ask from me, and after that I will give the reply.